It is the morning of July 1st, 2026. The showroom lights click on one by one every morning, the way they have for 4 years. The marble floor is cold. You are older now. That manager is long gone. The clock is 2 minutes fast, always has been. Coffee and leather fill the air. It is just you, the cars, and an hour you do not yet know you will remember. Level 1. The porter. You started here because you needed a job and this one did not require a degree. The listing said, lot attendant. The listing did not say you would move 43 cars in a shift, or that your hands would crack from the detail spray in winter, or that you would learn the difference between ceramic coating and sealant before you learned anyone's name. You park the inventory in rows the manager's design on a whiteboard that wipes clean every Monday. Each car gets a number. Each number gets a spot. You are the spot. You wash the cars before the lot opens. You wash them again after the test drives. You fetch them from the back lot in rain, in the particular kind of heat that collects on asphalt in July, in the dark when the last client leaves at 9 and the salesmen go home, and you stay because the loaner fleet needs to be checked in and the keyboard needs to be alphabetized. You make $14.50 an hour. You are paid weekly. You are 23. Nobody learns your name in the first 90 days. A salesman calls you kid for 4 months. Another calls you hey. You answer to both. The clock and the cost. You don't know yet what the next hour holds. Level 2. The greeter. You are behind the reception desk now because the previous greeter quit on a Friday and the general manager looked at you and said you have the face for it. You are not sure what that means. You learn. The script is on a laminated card taped to the underside of the desk. Welcome to the dealership. May I direct you to a specialist? You say it 86 times one Saturday. You say it until the words stop meaning anything and your mouth moves on its own. You log every walk-in on a sheet that gets collected at 6. The sheet determines who gets the UPS. The UPS determine who eats. You watch the salesman watch you when you assign them. You learn that the desk is not neutral. You learn that favoritism has a system. You are 24. You are making $16 an hour plus a spiff of $25 for every appointment you book that shows. Your best week is $680. You buy a shirt with a collar. You start ironing it. You watch the salesman leave on Fridays with envelopes that look thick. You stop looking. You start calculating. The clock and the cost. You cannot know what the next hour will ask of you. Level 3. The sales consultant. You sold the first car on a Wednesday to a man who bought a pre-owned sedan in graphite. He shook your hand. You gave him the key. He drove away. You stood in the lot for 11 seconds after he left, doing nothing, holding a clipboard that no longer had a purpose. Then the desk called you. The next up. You learn the steps. Meet and greet. Qualify. Walk the lot. Test drive. Foursquare. Write up. TO, the turnover, when a manager steps in to close what you could not. You hate the TO at first. You hate that they can say in 4 minutes what you could not say in 40. Then you understand. It was never about the words. It was about the permission. The manager is the one who says yes to the price. You are the one who builds the want. You sell 11 cars your first month. 15 seconds. You make $4,200 in commission one pay period, and you stand in the parking lot looking at the number on your phone, and you feel something you have never felt before. Recognition. The fear of being ordinary. The thing that sat in your chest at the reception desk, the thing that whispered you are replaceable, goes quiet. Not silent. Quiet. You are 25. The commission structure is 25% of the front-end gross. You learn that front-end gross is not the price of the car. It is the space between invoice and selling price, and that space is smaller than the client thinks and larger than the salesman admit. The clock and the cost. You have no way of knowing what the hour after this one will cost. Level 4. The product specialist. The title changes but the work does not, it deepens. You are assigned to the clients who come back. The ones who bought once and return for the service, for the upgrade, for the second car for a spouse. They ask for you by name. You remember their children's names. You remember the trim level they considered and rejected, and you remember why. You manage a book of 47 repeat clients. You sell the cars that sit above the volume line, the flagship sedan, the performance coupe with the carbon ceramic package, the SUV with the night vision option that nobody orders, and you sell 3 of them in a quarter. Your OTE is $118,000. You hit it in October. The showroom becomes smaller. Not physically. The other salesmen stop talking to you about numbers. They talk to you about weather, about sports, about anything that is not the board on the wall that has your name at the top of it. You eat lunch alone. You eat lunch alone and you tell yourself it is because you are busy. You are busy. That is not why you eat alone. You take a breath. You drink water from a bottle you keep in your desk. You think for a moment about the version of you who was washing cars at 5:41. If you could send one thing back to that version, before the first commission check, before the first lie about invoice, it would be a name. The name of the source that tells you what the building will not. Subscribing to that, actually doing it, would have saved you a year of learning the wrong lessons. You set the bottle down. You don't think about it again. The clock and the cost. You don't yet understand what the next hour will take. Level 5. The F&I Manager. The box. That is what they call the office. Small. Windowless. A desk with a monitor that faces you. And not the client. You sit across from people who have already agreed to buy, and your job is to make the back end profitable. Gap insurance. Extended warranty. Wheel and tire. Paint and fabric protection. Maintenance plans. You present each one the way you were trained, as protection, as value, as peace of mind. Some of it is markup at 300%. You know the difference. You know which products the manufacturer actually stands behind and which ones are third-party contracts that deny claims at the first opportunity. You sell them anyway. Not because you want to. Because the desk expects a 28% penetration rate on warranty and a 90% rate on gap, and your bonus is tied to both. You finance a couple at 5.9% when their credit qualified for 3.4%. The reserve, the markup the dealership keeps, is $1,800. You watch them sign. The woman asks if the rate is good. You say it is competitive. It is. That is not the same as good. You make $187,000 this year. You go home and you sit in your kitchen and you do not think about the couple. You do not think about the rate. You think about nothing. That is the skill you have developed. The clock and the cost. You could not predict what the coming hour would weigh. Level 6. The Sales Manager. You run the desk now. You sit behind the tower with 3 monitors, inventory, CRM, the board. The board is the scoreboard. Every salesman's name. Every car sold. Every gross. You look at the board the way a surgeon looks at an X-ray. You know who is struggling. You know who is sandbagging. You know who is holding deals for the last day of the month to game the spiff. You call TOS. You close. You walk into the box and sit down and in 3 sentences reframe the payment the client just rejected, and you walk out with a signed buyer's order. You are good at this. You are better at this than you were at selling, which was better than you were at greeting, which was better than you were at washing cars. You make $312,000. You work 11 hours a day, 6 days a week. You have not taken a Saturday off in 14 months. Your phone rings at 7 a.m. on Sundays with questions about the previous night's numbers. You answer it. You walk the showroom floor and the salesmen straighten when you pass. Not all of them. The new ones. The ones who have not learned that the power is quieter than it looks. You learned that. The power is not in the volume. It is in the pause. You pause before you approve a discount. You pause before you deny a trade-in value. The pause does more than any sentence. The clock and the cost. You will not know what the next hour demands until it arrives. Level 7. The General Manager. The showroom is closed. The signs are off. The gates are down on the lot. You are still here. You sit in the glass office above the floor with the P&L open on your laptop, and the numbers do not look like numbers anymore. They look like decisions. Month-to-date gross. New car department, $342,000. Used car department, $189,000. F&I, $156,000. Service and parts, $278,000. Below the line, payroll for 41 people, floor plan interest on $7.2 million in inventory, advertising, utilities, the lease on the land. The net is a number that moves. Some months it moves up. Some months it does not move at all. You are responsible for all of it. For the salesman who has not sold a car in 11 days and is about to lose his apartment. For the service advisor who cried in your office last Tuesday because a customer screamed at her over a $400 diagnostic fee that was not wrong. For the porter who parks 43 cars every morning and who you have never spoken to for more than 30 seconds. For the owner who calls on the first of every month and asks one question, "Are we up?" You are up. You are always up. Because if you are not, the call gets longer. You make $410,000. You have not slept 8 hours in 2 years. You take a pill for blood pressure that your doctor prescribed at 36. You are 37. The clock and the cost. You no longer try to predict what the next hour holds. Level 8. The dealer principle. This part was never in the plan. The owner, the man who called on the first of every month, died on a Thursday in November. Heart attack. On a boat. In the Caribbean. You found out from his wife at 11 p.m. She asked you to keep the store open the next day. You did. 6 months later, the franchise agreement, the real estate, the inventory, the 41 paychecks, all of it transferred to a holding company and you are named the principal. You own it. Not the land. The land is leased from a trust you will never meet. But the business, the brand, the sign above the door with the logo that glows blue at night, that is yours. You sign the checks now. You sign the floor plan. You sign the agreements with the manufacturer that require you to renovate the showroom every 5 years at a cost of $1.2 million or lose the franchise. You sign. You are 39. You sit in the same glass office. The P&L is the same. The number at the bottom is larger. It does not feel larger. It feels like the same number with more weight on it. You look at the showroom floor through the glass. 19 cars. 17 face the glass. 2 sit at angles. The marble is cold. The lights are on a timer. You think about the man who died on the boat and you realize you are sitting in his chair, making his calls, walking his floor, and that one day someone will sit in yours. The clock and the cost. That is the ledger you never agreed to but signed anyway. You stand. You turn off the laptop. You lock the office. You walk through the showroom in the dark, past the cars, past the marble, past the reception desk where the clock is still 2 minutes fast. You set the alarm. You leave through the side door. The parking lot is empty. Your car is the last one in the row. The clock on the wall reads 5:41. The showroom lights click on one bank at a time. The marble is cold. The coffee maker gurgles in the break room. Someone new unlocks the front door. He is 23. He sets his bag on the chair. He checks the time.